Man not using the Spirit. In the first fall, man did not use his spirit. If you read Genesis 3, you will see that Adam and Eve had probably forgotten about their spirit. They did not use it. Man acting by the soul. In the second fall, man acted by his soul. If you read the story of Cain in Genesis 4, you will see that he was a man who was 100% in the soul. He was absolutely outside of his spirit. Man walking according to the flesh. In the third fall, man walked according to the flesh. Can you see these three steps? Firstly, man neglected the spirit. Secondly, he acted by the soul. And thirdly, he lived and walked absolutely according to the flesh. So by the time of Genesis 6, man had become flesh. God could no longer tolerate this fallen flesh, and he sent the flood as his judgment upon it. The whole human being rising up collectively to rebel against God. In the fourth fall, man rose up collectively to rebel against God. His whole being was stirred up by Satan to rebel against God. If you consider your experience, you will find these four things within yourself. Sometimes we do not use our spirit, and sometimes we go by the soul. At other times, we are much worse, behaving ourselves according to the flesh. At other times, the situation is even worse, for deep within us, we may say, I don't care for God. I believe that we have all said this. If we have not said it many times, at least we have said it a few times. I do not believe that there is anyone who has never said this. Although we might not have spoken these words outwardly, deep within we have said, I don't care for God. He is too troublesome. I am a free person. I don't want to be bothered by God. Even after coming into the church life, there is still within you this sort of satanic instigation. This is the work of Satan to build up Babel in your being once again. Whenever you say that you do not care for God, it means that you intend to build a city and a tower. That is rebellion, the rebellion that comes from Satan's instigation. Men fall to the uttermost. In the fourth fall, man fell to the uttermost. He simply could not fall any further. He had reached the bottom. This ultimate fall eventually caused God to forsake the Adamic race. God decided to give up the created grace. It had become hopeless. It had reached a point where not even God could do anything with it. Although God forsook the created race, he did not give up his purpose for man. On the one hand, he gave up the Adamic race, but on the other hand, he called a man out of that fallen race to have a new beginning. The name of that called one was Abraham. According to the Bible, Abraham became the head of a new race. Adam was the head of the created race, and Abraham was the head of the called race. In the following messages, we shall have much to say about the calling of Abraham. The Lord has a way to fulfill his purpose. Regardless of the instigation of Satan and the rebellion of man, God is still God. He is sovereign. God seemed to say, all right, I will let go of the Adamic race. But under his sovereignty, he selected one to be the head of a new race. This choice was made before the foundation of the world. God planned it this way and worked it according to schedule. God has a schedule. In his schedule, he dropped the Adamic race and called out Abraham to be the head of a new race. The process, conspiring to rebel against God. Let us now consider the process, the procedure of this rebellion. In this rebellion, there was a conspiracy. Under the instigation of Satan, men came together to conspire to rebel against God. The rebellion against God instigated by Satan always begins with a conspiracy. Throughout the generations, many times such a conspiracy against God has happened among the human race. The first one was at Babel. That was the beginning of mankind's rebellion against God. Under Satan's instigation, men decided collectively to give up God and to rebel against him.